Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Roundtable Network News. I'm your boy, the franchise player, Double B Badblood. I am joined by the Drew Nicholas, and I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it is so good to have Drew back on the news because the news will run flowingly smooth this week, ladies and gentlemen. Drew, what is up?
Yes, I won't be away getting a car every Saturday. So,
Yeah, your car is pretty cute, though, Drew. I got to give you 100% on that. Pretty nice.
How are you doing today, sir?
You know, I made a contact today that's very beneficial to my side business. So yeah, wait.
Very nice.
Oh,
Oh,
oh no. I got confirmation for the question that we were talking about earlier.
oh, that's a bad oh no. Oh,
Uh-huh.
well, we will get to that story. Unless I don't know, was that something that you wanted to talk about, like as a main topic?
Yeah.
Well,
So,
give it to me.
so, ladies and gentlemen, I just did receive some horrible news. When you're like scrolling through Twitter, as Drew and I were doing earlier, as we were discussing, and I saw that Jody Gilly, she was Bray Wyatt's number one fan. I mean, even more of a number one fan than Shane Husky. Like she is was his number one fan. Uh, tattooed his likeness on her. Shared so many intimate moments as a friend of Bray Wyatt. She suddenly passed away on Thursday. I saw it on Twitter, and I'm one of those people that I much prefer hear it from the horse's mouth. I sent a message to her Twitter page, and her husband replied, "Hi, this is Jody's husband, Chris. Jody sadly passed away on Thursday. I've been letting people know on here as I get messages. So our thoughts and prayers are out to Chris and Jody's family this time of trouble, this time of heartache, and this time of sadness. Rest in peace, Jody. You were a remarkable person. You watched our podcast weekly, and I can never thank you so much for being a part of our Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast family. Rest in peace."
Yes, that um that one's pretty sad actually. That's a sad one because it's of course, Bray Wyatt's passing was just a real gut punch, like a legitimate one. That's it, for people who are actually fans of Bray Wyatt. It was a you remember where you were when you heard the story.
Yeah.
Which I remember where I was. I was standing in a mall in Pennsylvania, shopping, and looked at my phone, and I was doing a no phone weekend. It was the weekend of was it a show? No, it wasn't a show. I wasn't there for a show. Um,
It was
but
something you were doing
now,
with your husband.
yeah.
I remember
Uh,
that.
and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna take a nice weekend. I'm not gonna look at my phone, but of course I did.
You looked at our group chat, and there it was.
And there it was. So, yeah, it was the group chat. Broke the story to me. And it's like, well, all right, that sucks.
I
And
remember I was the one who posted it in the group chat, and I know exactly where I was sitting. I was sitting at my computer, and I was scrolling through Twitter because I was bored, and I looked up and I saw it, and I'm like, no, that's not true. And then I talked to another person, and they were like, yeah, I heard the same thing. And then, like an hour later, WWE announced it on YouTube, on Twitter, and everything, and I was just like, oh my god, like this is crazy.
this, his number one fan, she was a very bright light, and it's very unfortunate that she has passed. And like you said, we wish the family well, and our condolences are out to them. And very sorry that happened. Very sorry.
Her Twitter page says this. This is one of her quotes. "I've been nothing but how God made me. I ain't gonna hate them. I ain't gonna hate myself no more. I ain't gonna break down life before like before. I'm hurting, but I'm a stronger version. Um, on June 20th, she posted a picture of her and Ray Wyatt. She said, "Bray Wyatt, you're a rock star." 2 days ago, she made a post about going to the hospital, and it's just wow, it's crazy. It's so crazy. 4 years ago, yesterday, 4 years ago on Wednesday, she posted about her tattoo that she got. It's
Oh yeah, she has a Bray Wyatt tattoo as well.
yeah, he
Yeah.
he signed it. Like he signed a piece of paper with his initials and like his signature and everything. And someone drew up a beautiful, beautiful piece of artwork. I mean, I wish I could. Maybe I could share it. Can you see that? My
No.
background is.
Yeah, the back. Put it like really up to the camera. That might work. I can see me
You see that?
a little. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Wow.
That's the tattoo on her back, and you can see under the face. It's his signature.
Signature. Yeah.
Such an amazing piece of artwork. And she's got his name tattooed on her. Like she was his number one fan, and wow. Rest in peace. Like, damn.
Well, let me take the reins here and let's talk about the latest on the WBD AEW relationship.
Oh yes, let's talk about that.
So, on Tuesday, PW Insider reported it was believed that a new deal had not been reached between AEW and Warner Brothers Discovery, and that Warner Brothers Discovery was not going to even mention AEW in their upfront this week. However, after speaking to AEW sources, Fightful was able to confirm an announcement of a new deal was expected to be kept very close to the vest, where summer or fall, as late as fall, could be the announcement of the new deal with WWD and AEW. Um, while Fightful was not sure when it will be announced, there's a pilot for a new AEW program, which has dropped and has already aired. I have not watched it yet.
Is it
That
the
was
dinner with?
dinner with RJ and
Yeah,
Renee and RJ.
yeah.
Um, WBD sources. This is a big part of the story. WBD sources that Fightful spoke to indicated that Warner Brothers Discovery had interest in adding AEW pay-per-views to Max.
That would be epic.
And that they had been interested in it for quite some time, noted that the two sides have been in talks for quite some time about what a deal with pay-per-views on Max would look like. And there have been proposals about it going back to last year. So it has been in the works for a little while now.
Well, there have been rumors about that for God knows how long. We've been
Yeah.
discussing it for a while.
Now we do know that it says in the story, if WBD does lose rights to the NBA, we now know they did lose the rights to the NBA. That they would be looking at reinvesting funds to maintain their position on cable, but they're not sure if any of that is related to AEW or will affect AEW in any way. So now knowing that WBD did lose basketball is now moving to NBC. The only as of the moment, the only live sports programming. Oh no, they don't. I believe they have something else too, don't they? They have
No,
hockey.
no. Hockey is with Fox.
Oh, hockey Fox. Okay, so then that makes AEW the only live sports programming.
And going back to a story we talked about 5 or 6 months ago, AEW is the number one show on cable in their time slot. And the only reason AEW's like numbers had dropped or have been dwindling over the course of a few months is because of the NBA playoffs and NBA finals.
Right.
So the NBA is no longer on TNT or TBS. Then the number one show on cable in those time slots would be pro wrestling.
Yes, which is good for them. Very good for them.
Just like
And
back in the WCW days, like where they didn't have the NBA cutting in every other week. Same thing.
Yeah, when they do these big basketball shows, I'm not a basketball fan, so I really don't care. But when they do these big basketball shows and they have got to move Rampage from Friday to Wednesday one week, and then they've got to move Collision to Friday nights, and then they've got to move this to there and this to there, to the point that's like, oh, when is Rampage on this week? When is Collision on this week? Is Collision on this week? Because sometimes it's not even on, like it was a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
or rather, it wasn't a few weeks ago. Um, it just harms the AEW product. It's
Oh, it
been
does.
doing that.
And you know the thing about like harming the product and making the product better, um, when the WWE did it every year, they would move a Monday Night Raw because of the Westminster Kennel Club deal that would happen on Fox or USA Network, whatever, whatnot. It didn't really hurt the WWE as much because people are programmed to watch Monday Night Raw every week, regardless. Like, you know, when with AEW possibly sharing or airing their pay per views on Max, dude, that's going to be a whole new game changer. So many eyes will be on AEW now because look, let's look at it this way. The WWE network came along. People were upset with the network because it was so hard to navigate. It became really stupid. But then the WWE signed a deal with Peacock. Now you get WrestleMania on Peacock, you get Royal Rumble, you get every major PLE on Peacock. Peacock's numbers have soared over the fact that WWE is on there, and you can go back and you can watch WrestleMania number 3, WrestleMania 21. You can go back to Peacock and you can watch it on Peacock. If AEW,
you can watch the Revolution pay-per-view.
there it
Evolution.
is, Evolution, yeah, on Peacock. If you can go back and you can watch all these AEW streams, AEW shows, and right now, let's just be honest, man, cable TV is falling at the wayside, and streaming services are what's dominating. I mean, I don't have cable in my home, but I watch TNT, I watch USA, I watch everything, I watch Peacock. I have all of these streaming apps specifically for these things. I watch TNA, I watch MLW, I watch the Joey Janela Spring Break stuff. I watch all that stuff on streaming services. Internet streaming services are the number one watch thing today. But that throws a monkey wrench in a lot of things because now people like Dave Meltzer are saying, "Oh, AEW, WWE had horrible pay-per-view buy rate numbers for the last pay-per-view Backlash because people watch it on Peacock. You don't have to buy pay-per-views anymore."
Right. I can't wait for AEW to get to that stage.
I was going to say that's going to make AEW look a whole lot better to fans because now instead of paying $59.99 for next weekend's Double or Nothing, hell, I can watch it on Peacock for $15. People are going to go. I mean, I can watch it on Max for $15. People are going to go sign up for Max, just like I did when the Justice League movie was coming out and it was like only on Max. I wouldn't sign up for Max just for that. So I became a Max customer just for that. So.
And I got Max with my YouTube TV that I got.
There you go. And now with my cellular phone service, I got Peacock, I got Max, all that with my phone service. So now I have all of that. So that if that's true, and AEW has this deal where they're going to start airing, and Tony Khan's kind of let it slip a couple times about a streaming service deal coming soon. So maybe this is that streaming service deal he was talking about.
Hope so.
Maybe one of his big announcements might actually be a big announcement, like like this. Oh man! So going from AEW's big announcements and all the upfronts and things like that to a couple of things that have been plaguing the industry. First CM Punk, then Drew McIntyre, which in my opinion is so funny because right now they have the biggest storyline in wrestling by two guys who can't even perform in the ring right now. It's so great. I'm so engrossed in their storylines, and both of them are injured. Neither one of them are have been medically cleared to compete. So great. Bobby Lashley got injured out of the Rumble. I believe it was Asuka got injured. She was out of the King of the Ring, whatever, Queen of the Ring. Zelina Vega gets injured out of the Queen. So the injury bug is just catching on. And then Ivar, who was getting a huge push. Eric, his tag team partner, injured out for a while. So Ivar was getting a singles push. Ivar was injured. Update from Ivar himself on Twitter. You go on Twitter at Ivar underscore WWE. This is what he said. There has been a lot of misinformation floating around about me. Let me clarify. Yes, I'm injured. Yes, it's very serious. No, I have not had surgery. Still trying to figure out all the options and what it means for my future. That being said, I want to thank everyone for the outpouring of love and support, not only after finding out I was injured, but through the last several months. I have heard all of you. No matter what happens, I owe it to everyone who believed in me to do everything I can to get back in that ring under those lights and in front of the most amazing fans on the planet. See you as soon as possible. Okay, that was an update on Ivar from Ivar on the 16th. Now, Mike Johnson from PWI Insider posted this. Ivar undergoes surgery. Andrew Sports Medicine tweeted that Ivar will be working with them to overcome a spinal injury. When the WWE talent heads there, it's usually Dr. Andrews at Andrew Sports Medicine that does this. And Dr. Andrews posted on Twitter, "Thank you, Ed Ivar, for trusting us, Dr. Andrew Cordova, and the team to help you achieve the hashtag victory over injury." So hopefully Ivar will get back to what he's doing the best. Get well soon, big guy. I'll send you out a message. Hopefully things work out. On the flip side, AEW star Eddie Kingston, former Continental Classic champion, Ring of Honor World Champion, and New Japan Strong Champion. Eddie Kingston confirmed on Twitter that he suffered a tibia fracture in his leg. PWI Insider has learned that Kingston suffered an injury taking a suplex through a table bridged across the ring to a guardrail while facing Gabe Kidd for the New Japan Pro Wrestling. With his leg slamming over the rail, it crashed through the table. He still finished the match because he is a tough son of a bitch. And went through the planned post-match angle where the Elite attacked him. The injury was confirmed after a series of x-rays in California. Kingston is currently waiting on confirmation on how the injury will be addressed medically. We are told he's hoping to return by All In London, which is in 2024 in August. It will depend on whether the surgery is required. Shout out to Eddie Kingston. Good friend, good guy. Hopefully things work out. Eddie Kingston, we're rooting for you, big guy. Another sad injury that happened here in Portland, Oregon, as a matter of fact, on Thursday night.
Yes. This is going to be broken to me live.
Yeah, broken to you too. I do not know. Courtesy of Mike Johnson from PWI Insider. Ring of Honor champion was hurt last night. Ring of Honor Women's World Champion Athena injured her left leg during a match while she was wrestling for ROH on WatchROH.com taping portion of AEW's Collision taping, which happened on Thursday. PWI Insider has learned that while wrestling Via Van last night, there was a spot where Athena charged a Via, who ducked down and pulled the middle rope down. Athena took a bump through the ropes, landing on the floor. When she returned to the ring, she was limping. They finished the match. Via Van gave Via Van a forearm smash, pinned her. Via initially kicked out, but the referee counted 3 anyway. It would appear that Athena related to the referee that she was hurt and that Athena stayed in character after the bout upon leaving the ring, but did not put any weight on the left leg, hopped out of the ring being assisted by another staffer. Athena has been the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion for 518 days. And Mike, PWI Insider, has learned that Athena was checked out after the match, but we have not confirmed the nature of the issue, whether she is expected to be out of action for any time soon. Thanks to Billy Corcoran, who was in attendance at Ring of Honor last night for the assistance in the story. So I know a couple people that were at Ring of Honor. I don't know why I didn't go. I should have went. I was here doing hanging out with you guys on Thursday night. Um, Shout out to Athena, man. Shout out to her husband Matthew Palmer, great athlete, great man, good guy. Um, Hopefully she gets better. Like,
I'm distraught about this because
ladies and gentlemen, wrestling is such a hard sport. Like, I literally am coming off of a meniscus tear that's kept me out for a while. Wrestling is a very hard sport. For people who say it's
yes,
fake, try stepping in the ring and taking a walk in our shoes. Trust me, every bump hurts, every clothesline, even hitting the ropes hurt. You have to be a double tough individual like Athena to be able to walk out on her own, to be able to continue the match, finish the match. Eddie Kingston the same way, Ivar the same way. Ladies and gentlemen, we say this and I stress this to you children that are watching this. Do not try this at home. We are trained professionals. And even though we're trained professionals, injuries do happen. So hopefully Athena gets better.
oh, I hope that it's not serious because she's been one of the best women's champions of the year of her pretty much like of her entire reign of just over 500
518
days.
days. Man, that's crazy.
518 days to suddenly get this,
Technically, she's the
from
longest
injury.
reigning AEW Ring of Honor champion going right now.
Yes. Yeah, everyone's pretty much fairly new in the champion side.
Yeah,
That's that sucks.
it does suck.
That sucks, and I hope that she gets better soon. I hope they're not going to have her,
Strip
God
of the
forbid,
title.
relinquish after all those days to make that incredible run of hers just end on a fluke accident injury like that. Man,
Yeah.
I hope
And
that doesn't happen.
speaking of great matches, speaking of a collision, the Ring of Honor Collision Rampage preview for tonight's show. We have scheduled tonight's edition of AW Collision, which was taped here in Portland, Oregon for TNT. We have Serena D, the professor, taking on Anna Jay. We have Brian Danielson and FTR taking on Lance Hoyt and the Righteous. We have Orange Cassidy versus Brother Zay, Hook versus Johnny TV, Will Ospreay. From what I understand, this match was a 5-star classic. Will Ospreay versus friend of the channel Shane Taylor from Shane Taylor Promotions. Roos versus Cody Chun, local guy here. Kyle O'Reilly to face Lee Moriarty. That match is going to be a slapper. Um, Deanna Perrazzo versus Robin Renegade. All that and so much more, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be watching that live here on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast for AW Collision later on today. So make sure you go like, and subscribe, and join us. What else you got for us, Drew?
Well, we have so this was an interesting thing. So if you remember, I don't remember when the show was. I think it was earlier this year. I think it was maybe like early January. NWA did a show.
Oh
What was
yeah,
the name of the
oh
show?
yeah. This was in the midst of the CW, the AW signing with CW, NWA signing with CW, I should say.
So I pulled out this story because I thought it was interesting that a lot of people had talked about a certain spot on the NWA show.
Oh yeah, the dreaded
Um,
segment.
Jeremy Lambert and Joe Pearl at Fightful interviewed NWA owner Billy Corgan. And in the interview, Corgan said the sinister minister was, of course, not snorting cocaine or whatever it was that it was perceived as, but was snorting sugar at NWA Samhain.
Oh yeah, that
Um,
was their pay per view.
yes, Corgan said that the story took a life of its own. One of the top people in CW called a few days after the event and said that there was, in CW's eyes, no issue with what the NWA did on that show. And the CW thought that it was funny.
I've watched TV shows like The Wire, like Power. You got all of these shows where people are doing drugs and having sex and murdering people. Wrestling is just a television show too, ladies and gentlemen. There are storylines, there are segments that happen on these shows. Don't take these things too seriously.
No. And Billy Corgan kind of said that, continuing on in the interview, he said it was a completely invented story, and he did not like the quote pearl clutching after the spot, and didn't like the perception that they had done something wrong when that was not the case to CW. The CW had no issues with it. So, and it turned out that that was not the reason that they were not on television and relegated to the CW app.
Hmm.
Many had speculated because, well, one thing we know about the IWC is speculation runs rampant,
Oh God, yes.
and uh, according to Billy Corgan, there was no heat on the company at all from CW for doing that spot, and they had no issues with it. So, uh, yeah, I mean, listen, is it like in 2024, is that like something that you want to have as like a character trait for somebody on television? No. Wouldn't be something that I would book. But, you know, Billy and the NWA have the right to create a storyline and have a certain thing be of a character's persona. That's what they decided to do with the Sinister Minister, and that's their prerogative. I didn't have an issue with it. I actually kind of thought it was funny as well. I didn't watch it. I mean, I saw the reaction to it. The reaction was incredibly one-sided, negatively towards NWA. Um, but again, I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't really care personally. Uh, and it didn't have any negative effect on the NWA from CW. So there you have it.
So I just saw a report that came about right now. Bodyslam.net's Derek Grant says that Jerry Lawler is said to have had another stroke. Recent
Oh,
reports that Lawler has suffered a minor stroke following a stroke scare last year has subsequently paralyzed Lawler, has been on the path to recovery, which include double knee surgery. Fans continue to be concerned about his well-being. During a recent episode of the Storytime with Dutch Mantell, Mantell was asked about Lawler's condition following the stroke, and Mantell stated that he had heard Lawler suffered a minor stroke within the last month. In quotations, I heard he had another one, a minor one, but he did have another one within the last 2 or 3 weeks. That's what I heard. Or it may have been the last month, but it must have been a lot to deal with. Jerry the King Lawler, a former WWE wrestler, WWE Hall of Famer, and a prominent figure in the company for decades, had been off television due to health issues, but did send a pre-recorded a pre-taped address for Andy Kaufman's WWE Hall of Fame induction in 2023. Although his WWE announcer contract had ended, he remains under a WWE Legends deal. So he's still part of the WWE, just no longer a commentator. But he had another stroke, according to Derek Grant. So get well, Jerry Lawler. There's been so many things going on. So many things going on. We got contracts expiring coming up. Natalia's WWE contract is expiring very soon. Also, a story about Derek Grant. Natalia is a versatile talent within WWE who WWE can rely on for various roles, whether it's heel, babyface, or mentor in NXT. She may also be a big free agent within a few weeks. With many contracts set to expire this year, Natalia is reportedly among them. It has been reported that Natalia is still in negotiations with the WWE, but no agreement has been reached as of yet. If Natalia decides to not stay within the WWE and renew her contract, it will be a notable loss for the WWE, especially for NXT, where she serves as a valuable mentor to our emerging talent. During an appearance on Fightful's The Hump, Sean Ross Sapp discussed Natalia's contractual status with the WWE, noting that she is on the track to become a free agent soon. Sapp also stated that Nadia is set to be a free agent in a couple of weeks. Wow. So the future remains uncertain for Natalia. Under Endeavor's leadership, the WWE is handling contracts differently. If no new deal is signed, they may simply just allow her contract to expire, which will give her an opportunity to show up anywhere. So if she doesn't re-sign her contract, there'll be no if her contract runs out, there'll be no 90-day compete clause. Hell, if her contract ran out on Monday, she could show up on a Rampage or Dynamite on Wednesday.
Yeah. I don't know if that's really gonna end up happening. I feel like she's I mean, there have been people that I've considered to be WWE lifers, like Dolph Ziggler, for example, and then look, he's not in WWE anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Vince McMahon, look,
well,
uh,
um, but yeah, so I was surprised to hear that she still does not yet have a new contract. I mean, her husband Tyson Kidd has been producing with WWE for years now,
yeah, he
and
would be a WWE lifer if you ask me.
and just the Hart family and the Hart name has been synonymous with WWE for so long. Um, I'll honestly be surprised if she ends up not having a new contract with them.
I would be shocked, not even surprised. She is a 5 tool player. Like she is the one. You know what I mean?
Speaking of signings, we've got details behind Damian Priest's re-signing. So, he was one of the people amongst a whole list of people whose contracts were coming up uh, at some point this year, and he signed a new contract with WWE recently, and it is a multi-year deal. Priest confirmed it after the World Heavyweight title win when speaking to Kathy Kelly after WWE Raw. Fightful Select has learned that the deal was completed a couple of months ago and came down to the wire, which is what a lot of these contract signings have been doing lately. His contract was up in February. WWE sources told Fightful they'd always planned on keeping Priest, and the two sides had talked plenty before the new contract was made official. And another interesting thing, since he's re-signed, Variety revealed recently Priest has signed with the Paradigm Talent Agency. So not only is he working under a WWE contract, he now has a talent agency, which means there could be some potential TV, movie deals, any type of other forms of entertainment outside of WWE. And I believe the only other person I am aware of that has a deal with a talent agency outside of WWE is Bianca Belair. I remember hearing earlier this year about her having a deal with an agency. I don't believe it's Paradigm. I think it was a different name, but I'm not 100% sure. Um, so yeah, so that's good for Damian Priest. I mean, he's obviously got a new big money contract for multiple years and signed with a talent agency. Some big things should be coming for him. So I'm excited.
Man, things are popping up, man, for all of us. I just got a message from Vicky Guerrero. We might be doing an interview with Vicky Guerrero soon.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a possibility.
Well, I was trained by Mondo Guerrero. I'm friends with Chavo and Eddie Guerrero. I mean, Chavo Jr., so I mean, naturally.
Well, when you put it that way.
Yeah, naturally.
What you got for us next, sir?
Well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to end this note on some really cool stuff, some one sad thing. Today in wrestling history, on this day in wrestling history, we lost another great professional wrestling icon. One half of the British Bulldogs, Davey Boy Smith, passed away today. But 1943, we had WWE Hall of Famer Jimmy Superfly Snuka was born. Today, in 1973, a good friend of the channel, good guy, Blue Guy, the Blue Meanie, a star in WWF and ECW. Today was his birthday. Today's his birthday. Shout out to Jimmy Snuka and the Blue Meanie. And just because the WWE and the UFC have merged into a TKO media conglomerate, we're going to go ahead and celebrate something that happened in the UFC today. In the year of 2008, the UFC announced that they will debut for the first time in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they would feature UFC heavyweight champion future UFC heavyweight champion Brock Lesnar in his first ever MMA fight in his home state. That happened today in 2008. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that was your day in wrestling. That is the Roundtable Network news for this guy right here. That guy right there, the Drew Nicholas. I'm the franchise. And you know what? We will see you when we see you, but please do me a favor. Hug each other. Say you love each other. Be nice to each other because the world is a very, very cold place. So let's keep each other warm.